Surely the Lord power will do nothing but revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great Muslim who rule well, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And I just want to do a lesson, because I was watching this video here, and this was a build between Stan Johnson, that's the guy that you see on the screen, all right, which he has a podcast, I believe, and a site called the Prophecy Club. We always go into the prophecies, and some things, he break down actually right, and then there's some things that he gets wrong because he's not of the Lord's elect, all right, and he looks like an Edomite, but you can never be too sure because we don't judge based off of the outward appearance. When he seemed to have that zeal, and a lot of these you know so-called white guys, so to speak, that talk about the Bible and get into the prophecies, a lot of them got that zeal. Some of them might very well be Jake, and then you got the Edomites, that are they just like to search and go into the Bible. They have an infatuation with the Bible because the Bible is the only book that stands true, or because we know that the word of the Most High is is pure. And contained in it is the sure word of prophecy. All right. So anyway, he's having a build with Mike Adams from Natural News, and they're going into the book of Revelation. And I thought, it was an interesting conversation, so I thought to watch a little bit of it, and then they start to talk about America. Now, some Christians teach that America is actually Babylon the Great, and then you got a lot of Christians that don't teach that. They'll teach that it's the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church. Some Protestants teach that Babylon is actually talking about Israel, Jerusalem. But this guy in particular, he actually believes that America is Babylon the Great, and he's actually right. And if you read Revelation 17 and 18, and you actually understand both of those chapters, then you would definitely know that they're talking about America. All right, so I'm gonna play a segment of this video so you can hear and listen, and I'm gonna just respond with some of the scriptures. Because ultimately, in order to understand the scriptures, you got to have the inspiration, in which the Lord reveals His secret to His servants, the prophets, and that's through the Spirit. Real quick, let me get Ephesians 3. And this is Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, "How that by revelation He made known unto me the mystery, as I wrote afore in few words, whereby when you read you may understand my knowledge in the mystery of a Mashiach, which in other ages was not made known unto the sons of men, as it is now revealed unto His holy apostles and prophets by the Spirit." Everything is revealed by the Spirit. All right. And that Spirit has to be upon you. And this is talking about the Spirit of truth. All right. Whom the world cannot receive. All right. So not everybody's open, to this knowledge because the Spirit is not on them. All right. So there's certain things that might be a little deeper that the average person can't know. All right. But you hear this guy, he seems to know some of the stuff. All right. And I wouldn't be surprised if they might be secretly watching our videos, the apostles, the elders, bishops, different brothers that, these people that like to go into the Bible. I wouldn't be surprised if they are secretly watching us on the sidelines, and they probably taking notes, and then they going back with their own little discussions and their breakdowns of it. But this word is getting out. But let's listen real quick, and then we'll definitely get some precepts.
White horse, and he that sat upon him is called, excuse me, backing up as I get my scriptures, and he that sat upon him is called a white horse, and to him was given a bow and a crown, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Meaning, one of the things we'll see when the tribulation starts is the start of war. No, Ukraine is not it. I do think it is the start of World War III. On 2/22 of 2022, the start of World War III, which will go on up to where the bear will have three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they will be Estonia, Latvia, and Ukraine.
Yeah, and this is why I said you got to have the spirit. All right, now what he's referring to was Daniel the seventh chapter. All right, when you read Daniel the seventh chapter, it goes into the four dominions of the four different heathen nations that actually ruled and had dominion for a period of time. Which it started off with the Babylonians, and then the Medo-Persians was risen up, and they took down Babylon. And then after that, you had the leopard, which represented Alexander, in the Macedonians, and they took down the Persian Empire. And then after that, you had Rome, the Roman Empire. What he's describing it is when it says in Daniel the seventh chapter, which is dealing with the second beast, the bear, and it was raised up on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth and between the teeth of it. And that happened, in the ancient world. All right, and this was during the time when you had the Medo-Persians. They came into power after Babylon had fell, and the three ribs that it actually signifies is Babylon, Lydia, and Egypt. Okay, and they became the dominant class of people. And remember, when you read in Esther, it tells you that Persia had dominion over 127 provinces, from Ethiopia all the way to India. All right, so the Persian Empire was pretty huge. All right, but it started off with the Medes at first. They were the ones in rule, and then the Persians were risen up. They were the stronger empire. All right, so that's pretty much the breakdown of that. He's saying that it's something that's getting ready to happen, and Russia's going to take those three Eastern Bloc countries back, and that's the fulfillment. Nah, that Daniel 7, um, majority of those kingdoms or those dominions already came and went. The only thing left is the last beast, the fourth beast, in which we know that the fourth beast had fell, and John the Revelator actually went into it, more in depth, and it talks about the beast having seven heads and 10 horns. And then in Daniel the second chapter, uh, it's describing the same empire, but as in statue form, and it represents the bottom of it, which is the foot. All right, having 10 toes. That's the 10 horns of the beast. The 10 toes of the statue, which is part iron and part clay. It's also the 10 horns in Revelation, and that's where we at right now. Okay, but let's continue.
And when that bear eats those three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, then I heard a voice say, "Arise and devour much flesh." So we're going to see the Russian bear does not stop. Okay. Even though he overcomes Ukraine, he won't stop. He will continue until finally, as Dmitry Duduman was told, he'll attack America and defeat America in 1 day and 1 hour. So great riches will come to naught, but he doesn't stop there.
So if you heard what he just said, he's pretty much saying that the Russians are gonna be the ones that's going to destroy America in 1 hour. Now, where did he get that from? Where did he get that? Because that's, we teach that America is Babylon the Great, and we know according to the prophecy that Babylon will be thrown down in 1 hour. Let's get that real quick. Let's go to Revelation 18, and let's read yeah, Revelation 18, and I'll start at verse 4. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues." And this is talking to the Lord's elect, or when that the sound of that trumpet gets blown, and the world stops, and every eye sees the Lord coming back with the angels, and him getting busy over there in the Middle East. The first thing that's going to happen first is his people are going to be gathered. They're going to be caught up into the chariot, all right, so that they don't be partakers of the destruction. All right, so that's what this is describing. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities." And it's talking about America. All right, all of the wickedness, debauchery, the bloodshed, the murders. All right, the witchcraft. All right, the idolatry, heavy over here. One of the worst kingdom that's ever been set up on the face of the planet, man. The Lord he didn't forget anything, even from its inception, how the tribes were brought over here, and the saints were, slain. We served hardcore bondage captivity here. All right, couldn't didn't have any rest. All type of blasphemy going on here. Our people in complete rebellion and an anti-Messiah spirit. So it's gonna reach that peak finally, and the Lord's gonna come back, and he's gonna destroy this place, and then he's gonna have Russia, all right, along with their allies. They're gonna finish this place off, all right. And it says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double un, unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, very luxurious, having everything in abundance. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." And that's always been the American attitude. We can never be touched. All right. We'll always be in comfort. We'll always have, luxury. It says, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her." It's going to be a judgment from the Almighty. And the whole world's going to get to watch. They are going to get to know. All right, it says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her," those who were all confederate with Babylon, who had a relationship, that had, pacts and deals with America, who did a lot of commerce, a lot of trade. They're gonna feel the brunt of it because they're not gonna be able to make any money. So they're gonna mourn about this actually happening. It says, "Shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." All right, and that is it's not going to take long at all for the Most High to destroy this place, especially with the Heavenly Father, putting the spirit on the Germans that come up with the nuclear weapon, and how ever since then the technology have advanced. Well, now they're making it more sophisticated, more smart, and now these missiles can travel you know quicker than the speed of sound. Russia got all type of hypersonic missiles, that can go over here. They can get over here in half an hour, and they can be undetected on America's radar. All right, they can defy the anti-missile defense systems that America got set up, defending America. So this is all set up by the Lord, because it's His will for this place to get judged. All right, and let's read Zephaniah, because it says that the Lord's going to make this place a speedy riddance. Okay, let's get Zephaniah 1. It is Zephaniah 1 and 14. I'm going to read down to 18. It says, "The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness." It's going to be a lot of anguish, a lot of people in fear, a lot of people going to be humbled. All right, a lot of people's hearts failing them for fear, because everybody, if you're not of the elect, everybody's in trouble. And it's going to be a day where the greatest kingdom that ever has been set up, all right, the greatest, what they call the greatest country, all right, that took hundreds of years of to build, is going to be destroyed in a moment. All right, it says, "A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung." So it's going to be death all over. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. And that's talking about in America. America is going to be thrown down in 1 hour. All right. So the Lord's going to do it, pretty quickly. All right. And it ain't gonna be no amount of money. It ain't gonna be no gold or silver that can stop this from happening. The Lord gonna put the spirit on them Russians and uh, them Iranians, which is Persia. All right. Uh, Even the European countries, their own allies. That's why you got to understand Revelation 17. The whore that rides the beast. America rides the beast, and that's NATO in the EU. All right, they dictate the policies. They're the cause for why things gotten worse between Russia and NATO, and now Europe have to suffer the brunt end of the actions that Russia is resorting to, because of those sanctions. They're gonna have a horrible dark winter. They're gonna freeze. They gotta ration their energy, their power. They're dealing with inflation, so it's getting bad over there, man. Russia cut off that pipeline, the Nord Stream pipeline. So it's only getting worse and worse. So them Europeans, they're gonna start to grow sick and tired of America, man. So that's why, that's how that this place is gonna get super wiped out. because there's going to be so many arrows coming from all over the world towards this one place. All right, let's get Isaiah 13 because it tells you that the Medes are not going to care about the silver or the gold because that's who the Lord is going to use to destroy America. All right, Isaiah 13 and 17, it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them," and that's Russia, "which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces." All right, meaning when these missiles hit, these people they're gonna turn to dust. All right, it says, "And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb; their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when the Mosiah overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah." And you can read all the different prophecies that say the same thing concerning, Babylon the Great, Edom, because it's all interchangeable because Edom is basically the ruler of Babylon the Great. All right, the United States of America. That's Edomites control this. All right, so you read Jeremiah 50, 51, it all says the same thing. And it's going to be the Lord is going to use the Medes, all right, which is that northern country, and they're going to shoot their arrows, they're going to shoot their bows right on Babylon the Great. All right, let's get Jeremiah 51 and 11. And it says, "Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes." And you can also read in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right, how he's going to put the hooks into their jaws. All right, and you can see that Russia, since the Cold War, they've managed to bounce back, and they're starting to slowly but surely take back those regions that they once inhabited under the old Soviet Union. And that's what them working on Ukraine, that's what that's been all about after they took Crimea back. Okay, and now that's why you got NATO trying to push back by um extending that alliance by admitting Finland and Sweden and all those other countries, Poland, into NATO. And the more they do that, the more they're um inflaming Russia. All right, and Russia's counter to that is those BRICS countries, which more and more of those Latin American countries are joining that alliance, or they're at least seeking to you know fill the application to join that alliance. All right, so these world leaders in these different countries, they all are seeking for world dominance, and the world right now is concluding that America is pretty much done. They they no longer um they no longer what's the term I'm thinking about, but basically the dominance of the West, that's out. They're no longer supporting that whole phenomenon. That's out. They're losing their dominancy, and they're actually siding with Russia. They see Russia making all the big moves, especially them aligning themselves with China. All right, so the Lord is raising up that spirit, man. Okay, it says, for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. All right, so let's go from there. Let's go to Jeremiah 50 and verse 9. And it says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country." And that's the Medes, all the different countries that are aligned with Gog and Magog. All right, Tergama, Gomer, Persia. All right, Libya, Ethiopia, and all those different countries are all assembled with Russia. All right, they got China with them. All right, they got Argentina riding with them, uh, South Africa. Those BRICS countries, India. It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And those arrows are going to have 1,000% accuracy because the Lord is going to guide those arrows. All right. And it's going to result in Babylon being completely annihilated. All right. Verse, I'm going to jump down to verse 14. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, all you that hold the missile, the ICBM, shoot at her and spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. All right. And that's what's going to happen. And then we go down, because in these chapters it jumps back and forth in time. It'll prophesy something of into the future, but then it'll go back into what was contemporarily happening, in history. All right. So you got to understand that, and like I said, you got to have the spirit. All right. Let's go down to Jeremiah 50 and 40 says, as the Most High through Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. And we know that can't be talking about uh, Babylon and Iraq, because that's still inhabited. They got all type of highways and homes. People dwell there. There's markets there, and yeah, wars broke out there. People died, but it's still inhabited. This particular Babylon is going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Nobody's since it's been destroyed inhabited that land. So if that didn't happen to Iraq, then that's how you know that that's not what that's talking about. All of America is going to be just like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's how they're gonna. That's how the judgment is going to leave this place. It says, "Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised from the coast of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance, the arrow. They are cruel and will not show mercy. It will not show any pity upon the fruit of the womb." All right. In that moment, the Lord gonna have that spirit on them. They not gonna care about nothing but getting rid of America, man. All right. We need to destroy that dominance in the earth because everybody's suffering. All right. But they think that they're gonna be next in line after that. But no, Israel, the true Israelites, are gonna be next in line because New Jerusalem gonna come down from heaven after all that goes down. All right. And you Russians are gonna get your asses whooped, handed to you. All right. All the different armies are already going to be destroyed because the Lord is going to have Michael and the angels, wipe them out. So the only ones that's going to get the victor is Yahushua and Israel. All right, the dominion is going to come to Yahushua, and he's going to share that with his people. And Israel is going to shall take the kingdom, and they shall have dominion forever and ever, man. But this is what's going to lead up to that. All right, it says, their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. All right, and you can also read Revelation, the 9th chapter, to understand what this is talking about. All right, it's talking about those missiles. All right, they're gonna ride over here like an army of men in formation. The Lord's gonna be in control and guide those missiles over here, and they're gonna hit every target. All right. So I don't think he understood the depths of that, but he does know and understand that Russia is going to definitely be instrumental in the demise and destruction of America, and that America is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. How is that going to happen? Because they have the missile technology to destroy this place in at a moment of time. All right. So let's hear just a little more, and then we'll close out.
Then it goes on up till finally it reaches Armageddon. And there's the Russians right there, Ezekiel 38 and 39 at Armageddon again. So Armageddon started February 22 of 2022, but it does not conclude until Jesus returns on the Feast of Trumpets, the very last Feast of Trumpets.
Okay,
So,
now
And he just went off because we don't know what day the Lord's going to show up. Like he's saying that the Lord's going to show up during the Feast of Trumpets. Who gave you that revelation? So you see that he got certain things right, but then he just went off right there. And if you don't have the spirit, you wouldn't, know any better. And let's get what Yahweh Shai said. Who said that he was going to come back during some feast? And this is why, through the spirit, we believe that we have the truth, man. All right. Surely he would do nothing but reveal his secrets to his servants, the prophets. Not everybody have this information, man, and it's a blessed thing. And I'm grateful, that, I was actually taught, you know, the spirit was on our apostles, and the spirit was on the men who taught them. All right. And it had to start with Elijah. The Lord said he would send Elijah the prophet before that great dreadful day. And the spirit opened up from that moment on ever since. So that's how you know we at the end of this thing. So this is Matthew 24 and hold up, let me see. I'm about to jump down. Yeah, here we go. Matthew 24 and verse 36. It says, "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." All right. So we don't know what day that the Lord's going to show up, but we know that he's going to show up like a thief in the night. And on that day, that's when it's going to be, bloodshed. That's when the Lord's going to, he's going to come down, with the host of heaven, invade the skies. Everything's going to get darkened, and he's going to tear shit up. And he's also going to simultaneously deliver his chosen around the four corners of the earth. And the main deliverance is going to be here in Babylon, right before all those missiles that he's going to have Russia and all those other nations shooting missiles on. Okay. So, I don't know where he got that from, but that's not biblical. The Lord's just going to appear, man. Okay. So, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna end off with that. Lord willing, this was edifying. We give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. To the next lesson, Shalom.